Welcome everyone to my channel, Natalia Samarek Zdrowie Uroda Fitoterapia. Today I have an amazing guest, a wonderful person, Małgosia Wieczorek. She is the co-creator of the amazing brand Kikaboni. These are natural products from Africa. Małgosia, please say a few words about yourself and your brand.
Hello, Natalia Samarek. Thank you so much for the invitation. First of all, I am very happy that I can appear here on your channel. All the more so because I am a supporter of natural solutions. I love nature, and our brand was actually created out of our love for everything that is as natural as possible. It all really started in Africa. I split my life, so to speak, between Africa and Poland. And Africa inspired me a lot, actually all of us here, the creators of Kikaboni, to bring something good, something of the very best. So actually it all started with fulvic acid, which we discovered there in Africa. Very few people in Poland actually know what fulvic acid is. And actually it's an extraordinary substance. It's so remarkable. A natural, nutritious substance, 100% natural, derived from hard coal, which contains, well, a range of wonderful nutrients, over 70 minerals, trace elements, peptides, nucleic acids, as well as phytochemicals. Because, well, you definitely know that, yes. You know what phytochemicals are, but people probably don't know that these are very important components for the plant, which help the plant live, nourish it, and protect it. And in the same way, thanks to the fact that fulvic acid contains these phytochemicals, we humans simply get healthier, you could say. I think that if everyone drank fulvic acid, because in reality it is essential for us to be healthy, there wouldn't be so many diseases. People would simply be healthy. Well, what else? I could go on and on about the acid. It is a substance that scientists call the God molecule because it has properties, it has such a tiny molecular structure. Yes, its molecular build is so small that it can pass through the cell membranes in our body, delivering nutrients directly to our body's cells from its own molecular structure, as well as from all the nutrients we consume throughout the day. So, for example, when you eat a carrot, which has vitamin A, fulvic acid pairs up with it. Exactly, because it is a chelator. It can capture that molecule, bind with it, and penetrate directly into the structure of our cells. So, we have much, much higher absorption when we drink fulvic acid, yes, and that's a big reason why these nutrients nourish us.
That's really great. What you're saying is very important because you see, there are so many people who have problems with their digestive system and, for example, have issues either with digestion or with absorbing these substances. If there is fulvic acid, which provides these substances itself because it contains them and it can also deliver them from food, then it really nourishes our cells for us. That's very important information. Thank you so much.
No, that's not all. There are a lot of things that can be said about fulvic acid. The fact that it serves so many functions in our body is just amazing. Potrafi, because it's also a detoxifier, it can cleanse our body very effectively. We sometimes call it a professional waiter in a way. On one hand, it cleanses our body of toxins and substances. All kinds of things that accumulate in our body, from heavy metals, from what remains after metabolism. And on the other hand, it provides us with what it contains. And at the same time, it also provides us with what it captures from the food we eat every day. And you really don't have to look far. We don't need to take, I don't know, some super complicated peptides. It's enough to drink fulvic acid to actually slow down aging as well, to actually rejuvenate the body more. Another very interesting thing is that fulvic acid contains bioactive oxygen in its structure. It's an amazing story. Polish scientists actually discovered this. There can be up to 45 bioactive oxygen atoms in a single molecule. Well, for a person who is really busy these days, they don't have time for their health, food, a healthy lifestyle. I think it's very important. Besides, for various reasons, we should oxygenate ourselves, right? There's a lot of talk about healthy breathing, about things related to oxygenating the body. It's especially good for athletes. Besides, you can read people's comments on our website. And sometimes it really gives you chills when you read about how fulvic acid has helped people.
And the product comes from Africa, right? The raw material itself.
The raw material itself comes from Africa, yes, from Southern Africa, exactly, from South Africa. It is produced there from pure deposits of lignite and hard coal. Well, these are actually the best deposits in the world. Scientists have studied them over the course of several years. For example, many different types of coal deposits around the world. And it turned out that the deposits in South Africa have, so to speak, the richest content of these nutrients, and especially those phytohormones, that is, phytochemicals. So that's what nourishes these plants and protects them. These are what we now call antioxidants. I don't know the exact names because it's very complicated. But these are things that really have health-promoting effects. They give us only health benefits. Interestingly, I'll say, not to brag, our acid is really the most concentrated and pure, you could say, compared to the competition, so to speak. We have the highest content of fulvic acid when it comes to concentration, because here we have from 6 to 9 of pure acid, which makes a daily dose of around, well, from 1,000 to 1,500 mg, which is a very high dose. Such a daily dose. And an interesting fact is the quality ratio, I mean the quantitative one when it comes to percentages between our fulvic acid and amumio. It's as much as 20 to 30 times higher in our product. So that's really a significant advantage. I would even say it's huge. And hardly anyone knows about it, right? Because amumio itself is great, because it also has other, so to speak, nutrients. But in my opinion, fulvic acid, if we're looking for a good pure acid, then the fulvic acid itself here needs to be in a higher concentration, like ours, so that the effects are actually visible. Yes.
Many people are looking for amumio, among other reasons, because it contains fulvic and humic acids, but here we simply have a concentrate. So that's definitely a difference. Two completely different products, amumio and fulvic acid. And please tell me about your product. How should it be used properly?
Our fulvic acid is incredibly concentrated. That's why the taste is a bit strong, I would say. Interestingly, it is sour and a bit bitter in taste. And I didn't mention this, but it also has an alkalizing effect. So it helps to alkalize our body. And how do we drink it? We drink it twice a day, 8 ml each time. So it's just a tiny dose. You can dissolve it in water, in juice. For example, half a glass of water. It's best to drink it through a straw because it's rich in minerals. It has a high mineral content, so it can slightly stain your teeth. So to avoid that, you should either drink some water afterwards, rinse your teeth, or it's best to dilute it with water. And it's good to take it in the morning on an empty stomach. If someone can't tolerate it because it's too strong for them on an empty stomach, it's nice to just drink it so that it's in the body twice a day, so to speak. In the body. The second dose should be taken by 4 p.m. because if someone has trouble sleeping, that's it. Because of its effects, they're stimulating. It actually stimulates us. It's like if we had some tea or a stronger coffee or even a Red Bull. Well, not to mention any brands, but there are these different products. Here, we're naturally stimulating the body, so it's good to drink it before 4 p.m. That second dose, so that you don't have trouble sleeping.
But I also know that fulvic acid is a very good selective sorbent. It removes what is unnecessary from our body, but there's no need to worry here. that it might remove some beneficial substances, whether vitamins or minerals. And that's why with different kinds of detoxes, or if someone is doing some kind of deworming or wants to remove heavy metals or is doing any kind of cleansing, or in cases of poisoning, anyone can safely use it and keep using it for a longer period of time without worry.
Yes, absolutely. Here, kind of, scientists call it the God molecule, referring to fulvic acid because it knows exactly what to do. It's really amazing. When the body is slightly poisoned in some way, we have, I don't know, some kind of heavy metals, arsenic, for example. It can bind it in such a way, in such an amount, that we cleanse the body specifically from that arsenic. However, it provides what we're lacking from its own molecular structure or from the food we consume every day. And this leads to such a balance. That's why, yes, many people, they simply recover after taking fulvic acid because this balance occurs in the body. It's amazing.
Tell me, Małgosia, do we use it only in treatments? Well, that's obvious when there's a need to support the body. Then we also use fulvic acid. But can we use it just all the time without a break, or do we still need to take some breaks?
Exactly. A lot of people ask about this. I have an answer here. Let's say both. If someone just wants to simply cleanse their body, well, that's obvious. A 3-month treatment is definitely recommended, kind of like, well, a base, so that we can even talk about anything effective at all. However, the truth is our body needs fulvic acid, just like we need oxygen or, I don't know, some vitamins. In my case, or my friends. For example, my husband, my friends, and I have all taken fulvic acid for years. And it's like this. We don't get sick at all because it really stimulates the immune system, very much so. I didn't mention that. But it is an immunomodulator, which means it repairs our cells. It helps to strengthen our immunity. And yeah, I can't imagine my life without the acid anymore on a daily basis, because even if we go somewhere for like a 2-day or 3-day trip, I don't know, whether it's weekend trips or whatever, we always take fulvic acid with us because we have to have it. It just gives us that energy, strength. And I say, well, I drink it regularly and I don't get sick. We're healthy. And I recommend it to other people too. Just, at least try it, see how it affects each person.
Małgosia, I know that besides this fulvic acid, which I think is one of the main products of your company, your brand, you also have some interesting things more from the cosmetic side, taking care not only of our bodies from the inside, but also taking care of our appearance from the outside. Tell me, what other products do you have?
Yes, that's right, as time goes by. Just from observing them above all, African women from there, we noticed how beautifully they can help their skin with simple care, not through artificial drugstore cosmetics, often very expensive, but rather through the simplest, historically speaking, methods that are truly part of the culture of these women. Well, not just women, men too. The cosmetics, which are shea butter and black soap. These are two flagship, you could say, African cosmetics that are most deeply rooted in Ghana. That's exactly where we source, so to speak, the finished products, which are handmade by the indigenous people there, by small workshops. And what's most important and interesting is that this kind of shea butter can replace a lot of creams. For example, for the face, it has an incredibly rich composition with so many different nutrients. And hardly anyone knows about this, as we tend to reach for various creams from, I don't know, the pharmacy with artificial vitamin A, retinol, right? Because we want to rejuvenate our skin, because we know that vitamin A is so effective for the skin, or vitamin E. And here we have such a vitamin straight from the tree. And what's interesting, the most important thing is that this comes from the savannah. All these fruits and nuts, they really grow in the lush wild outdoors, completely untouched. So there, those nuts and fruits are just packed with vitamins. And all of that is really in this butter, and you can feel it. Personally, for at least 6 years, I've been using shea butter on my face without any additives or other creams. And I just don't feel any need to use anything else. Anything else, because this butter not only contains vitamins, but it also has a lot of different fatty acids. Few people know that it contains omega-6, omega-3, and omega-9, these unsaturated and saturated fatty acids. Various phytosterols, polyphenols, and all sorts of things in there. It's like the whole periodic table, so to speak, which actually affects the elasticity of the skin, regeneration, and rejuvenation. It's not talked about much, but shea butter actually strengthens our intercellular cement so the moisture doesn't escape. So our skin is nicely moisturized and nourished. We get all kinds of feedback from our customers. There are so many amazing stories, like, for example, Mrs. Stasia, a much older lady, by the way. Hello to Mrs. Stasia. For many years, she had such dry hands. You could even call it a kind of eczema, an allergic type. Nothing was helping her anymore. She used all kinds of steroids, steroid ointments, and some heavy, greasy cosmetics. And all of that really for years was just, you could say, it just alleviated, I don't know, the problem for a little while. And from the moment she started using our shea butter, she says that her skin came back to life. It's a completely different quality, as if she finally regained her health. And her hands, because it was mainly on her hands, she says she wasn't able to do anything before. Now she's just overjoyed because she can even wash her cup and do everything. Her skin seems to have regained its health. It's soft, and she no longer has that recurring problem. We have a lot of different stories like that, and it's really uplifting when people come to us with such stories. And what's also important is that you can buy regular shea butter at any drugstore. That's not a problem. Ours, on the other hand, stands out mainly because it's unrefined, cold pressed. We don't destroy all those valuable vitamins in the butter. It's also very important that it's triple filtered. That means it's just so fluffy. We often associate butter with something dense that's hard to spread on the skin. But ours is the opposite. Even though it has quite a rich consistency, it has that kind of structure on its own. However, after gently spreading it on the skin, it quickly melts in and absorbs fast.
Well, I can praise you too. I've tried this butter, and not just once, and I also recommend it to many people. And for example, with psoriasis, psoriasis is an autoimmune disease. You have to approach this properly, work from the inside, but this butter is an amazing help. It's a great support, like when you have flaky skin, and apply this kind of butter on top, which moisturizes and also speeds up the skin regeneration process. For example, among my clients, there are cases of scalp psoriasis. It's very troublesome when the skin stops breathing because of the psoriasis, and hair starts to fall out and these scaly patches appear on the scalp. And not only that, it's very visible, very unpleasant and embarrassing. It's a progressive problem. And here, let me tell you, shea butter has worked wonders for us because it really helped. And I really like that there's nothing in it, nothing, no preservatives, no unnecessary additives. It's pure butter, and it really absorbs beautifully. You can apply it to your skin, your neckline, actually all over your body. Now it's perfect for summer. We're all going to go somewhere, travel to relax, sunbathe. Even if someone is working in the garden, it's good to apply it all over the skin so it doesn't get dry. Well, it's a very good skincare product.
But I wanted to emphasize one more thing actually about sunbathing, that shea butter has natural sun protection. It has about SPF 5, which isn't much, but thanks to the fact that it has these properties at all, it's really good for the skin. We get a really nice tan when we apply it. And it also works well after tanning when our skin is irritated and red, then it helps us get a nicer tan. So it's really nice for women who want to highlight their tan. Shea butter is really like a natural, wonderful gold for the skin. And speaking of gold, you just started talking about new cosmetics here. Yes, we were wondering what wonderful things we could still do here to make it even better for the skin. It's mainly about the face. It took us a little while, but we worked on the Gold of Africa formula. These are our two brand new, you could say two brand new gems for facial skin. These are day and night creams. Yes, we don't want to call them creams because they're not really just creams. This is something more than a cream because it's a blend of pure shea butter with fulvic acid, with our very own fulvic acid. And additionally with baobab oil, which we also offer separately. Baobab oil, as I'll get to in a moment, is also incredibly good for the skin. Baobab is actually called the tree of life. People who have visited Africa have seen these huge trees, which can store thousands of liters of water to survive droughts. And that's it, a nice story. The baobab is amazing, and we have it here. A tree, which I myself, and that's it, and we have it here. It's one of the biggest, and we have it here. Here, it's so huge, incredibly huge, that just imagine inside, we have it here, we have it here. And here is such a cozy small pub. And what else I learned from the man who takes care of this tree of his own free will, a kind of guardian of this tree, who doesn't get any payment for it at all. We just have it. And this tree, I want to say, here we have it. He fell in love with this tree and wants to care for it. He simply told us about it, and we found out that there was also a post office there, a post office. It's just an incredible story. You go up the steps to this tree and you can take a look inside. But what's cool is that it's hollow inside and yet it still blooms. Yeah, nature is just so extraordinary. That's why baobab fruits, or rather the fruits and the oil extracted from them, I think are a very valuable ingredient. It also has a lot of different kinds of unsaturated and saturated acids and vitamins. It even has vitamin D and vitamin C. From my experience, I know that it beautifully brightens the skin. Besides that, it regenerates, moisturizes, and nourishes it. It also has these additional brightening properties. That's great if we want to get rid of some spots on the skin and so on.
Małgosia, thank you so much for the information you shared with us. Of course, we'll give our viewers a discount code and they'll be able to go to the website, use it, and try it out. I know that many people have already tried it. I know they're satisfied. We'll also ask people who have tried Fulvic acid and used it. Write your opinions under this recording so that other people can get more familiar with this topic. Also, Małgosia, once again, a big thank you to you.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I could show more here and share some valuable knowledge about our products. Yes, especially Fulvic acid is important here. So thank you very much for the invitation and our conversation. And of course, we recommend using the discount code so people can buy with a discount.
That's great. Thank you so much and see you next time.
Thank you. See you next time. Greetings to everyone.